Thanks so much, everyone. You know, when I opened up the email that Peg sent me about tonight's reading and it said the theme is time, I kind of shuddered because I never write towards themes, and so I was a little bit panicked that I didn't have a story that was about time. And I thought about it a minute, and every story's about time, right? Every story in the world. If anyone knows of a story that's not about time, send it to me. I'd love to think about that. But anyway, yeah, so I was off the hook. I could read anything. I decided though I should be, you know, I should adhere to it, so I picked out some stories that are somewhat specifically about time. And yeah, so these all come from this collection. I write a lot of things, but I write 100-word stories, so all these are exactly 100 words. So the form itself is kind of about time, in the sense that it's a collection of these little snapshots. And I was attracted to the form. A friend of mine wrote a memoir of 100-word stories, and I thought it was the perfect way to kind of narrate a life. If you want to think about my life, it's really this collection of snapshots, like a collage of snapshots. So I actually picked out stories that go from childhood to death. So my wife last night told me that if you want, if you want a through line, you can think of these as all the same character, but they're not. They're all different characters. But whatever you want. So, first one is called Shirley Temple, and it's about childhood, defined as being at the mercy of adults' time or your parents' time. Shirley Temple. I sat at the bar, my feet swinging from a stool. Jacksonville, 1972. The adults crowded into a circular booth in the corner. Men pinched women, women squirmed in squirmy dresses. I smelled the chlorine on my hands as I listened to the cackles of laughter. My father told me I could have as many Shirley Temples as I wanted, but I drank slowly, counting to 50 before taking a single bird-like sip. The cherry bobbed slowly lower in the glass, almost dissolving like candy. I wouldn't eat it until it rested on the bottom. It's good to have rules. This next one is about adolescence, defined as not being at the mercy of parents' time. Skins. If only we could go out back like when we were kids and smoke and fool around. Our parents at parties, ashtrays filling up with butts, rumblings of laughter. There was always the question why they wanted us to grow up to be like them. They didn't imagine we'd mingle with evil. They didn't anticipate inclinations toward torpor. We thought the husbands loved the wives and vice versa, boxer shorts and JCPenney bras. But we knew better, mosquitoes biting our tender skin. We knew it's best to stay out of the way, even if there is no way back. And then this one is about those beautiful beginnings where you're living in the present, and the dangers of that too. It's called The Toad. The toad, flattened by a car, its arms spread out a little like Jesus. The sun had baked it as crisp as a potato chip. Poor toad, Maria said, didn't know how to cross the road. Maybe he thought the car was a new friend, I said, rushing to greet him. Or he was puzzling how such a small thing in the distance could become so large. We spent hours in such conversations. It was nice how we never talked about what was next, who we were together, as if the toad wasn't part of every story in its way, even ours. Then, this one I'm defining as, this might be after the toad, about clinging to time, the horrible state of clinging to time. It's called Dear X. Dear X, I loved you more than anyone could. Love, why? Dearest, why? Funny, I didn't realize that. How are you? Best X. Dear X, I cut my guts open for you. I'm bleeding. Love, why? Dearest, why? Sorry to hear about the mishap. I hear there are remedies for bleeding, or it stops after a while. Cheers, X. Dear X, the bleeding won't stop. I'm split open. Love, why? Hey, why? Can you believe this weather? Yours, X. Dear X, why are you talking about the weather? Love, why? Dear Y, I finally found the perfect beach. Hugs and kisses, X. We've all been in those letters, right? This one's called Fool's Gold. And I guess it's about growing up, but when you're already grown up. Second stage of growing up, maybe. Fool's Gold. I used to be able to walk into a bar and fall hopelessly in love with a woman. Any night, it didn't matter, there was always a woman. I would sit at the bar, watch her talk to friends, dance, and I'd love her until closing time. Then I'd walk home on the lonely, dark streets, remembering past glances, mysterious eyes that held worlds, and I might cry, drunk, thinking of the road trips we didn't take, our children, a dog. That was Chicago, 1989. It wasn't so bad to be a fool. Wise now, I stay home most nights. And this one's about the challenging middles. Castings. A resistance to spontaneous modes of imagination, a disdain for sultriness, tattered underwear. Every marriage has its own legalities, and these were Anthony's claims for divorce. Sometime, long ago, they believed in something that rhymed with galactic. Now, if gossip columns about ordinary people existed, they would have reported him howling at the moon. In one last attempt to save their romance, he asked her to get high and lay on the grass. She held a grocery list, stared at him with a survivalist determination. He saw teddy bears, grasshoppers in the clouds. The worms beneath him abandoned themselves. I guess that's trying not to grow up, maybe. And then I'm afraid we have to encounter death. My wife, or no, it wasn't Heather, it was somebody else told me that when I last read this, they thought it was depressing, but I think it's kind of nice. It's a nice way to die. There is a nice way to die. It's called Morphine Drift. I think it was Heather, my wife, who said that she thought I should ground the story. So this is a man in a hospital, and he's recounting some things to his son. Morphine Drift. It's what we remember, Dad said, as a clinging to a frayed thread tossed to a man overboard in a storm. He said something about a boy named Jim, his pants down to his ankles, his tuxedo shirt unbuttoned, long baby hairs on smooth cheeks, frogs croaking in the woods, jinrikis under an August moon, the violet night. Outside a few parked cars, inside the ruckus of others. Never underestimate the comfort sin can provide, he said. A lifetime of bedtime stories, all to your lonesome. Skin crinkled around his eyes, his dry lips pressed deeply around a straw. Sorry to leave you with the last breaths of death.